this is Tony, aka Cancer with Cancer, and thank you for coming back to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about specifically my radiation journey and a couple of tips that I have when you're going through the radiation process. Now, for me, the radiation was much easier to go through than going through the chemo treatment. I didn't experience any nausea that I was experiencing with chemo. Overall sense of just being lethargic, out of it. I would say probably the biggest thing that I experienced, well, probably two things that I experienced with radiation is one, the fatigue. It definitely hits. It will last the whole time you're going through the treatment. For me in particular, radiation treatment was Monday through Friday, every day, and the weekends I had off. So by the time I was starting to feel kind of more like myself with having off on the weekends, we were right back to it. So just be prepared to kind of feel that fatigue. And another thing that I personally felt was just general achiness in my body. I think it was just my body feeling exhausted. So it would take me longer to get up in the morning, rise out of bed, kind of have to walk a little bit to feel like I could stand up straight and get through. But, you know, compared to everything that I experienced through the chemo, I would definitely say that radiation was a bit easier to go through. So I feel like for radiation, they definitely did a great job with kind of prepping me with my doctor. We talked about everything that I would need, his recommendations for treatment, what I should and shouldn't do. So I don't have a really long list of recommendations because I feel like your doctor, your oncologist will talk to you about those things that you need to have into your routine. But the things that I'm just gonna toss in and suggest, I feel is gonna be universal for everybody going through this journey and should be safe. I am not a doctor, I'm not giving medical advice, so please talk with your oncologist. But these are just kind of some of the things that I incorporated during my journey that worked well for me. So one of the main things that my oncologist recommended for me to do was make sure that I had green tea, and not just to drink. It is great for your system. You should definitely start your day off with a glass of green tea, in my opinion. But actually, green tea has very beneficial benefits for skin. And so I would take 2 green tea satchels, boil them in the morning, and then when it cooled off, I would pour them into a little spray bottle, and I would spray my breast in preparation for getting the chemo treatment. So it was my right breast that was affected. So I would spray all the way from up to my neck, all the way down underneath to my rib cage, douse the area a few times a day with the green tea. It just helped the skin stay as healthy as possible. One of the things that can help happen with radiation is getting radiation burn and darkening of the skin. So it kind of helps to treat it as well. I would personally do it in the morning. You don't want to do it right before radiation because the skin needs to be dry when you're going through radiation. If it's kind of damp or wet, that could burn. So I would do it as early as you could. Definitely no later than, I would say, about 4 hours or so before your treatment, and then you could put it on afterwards. I usually would do it 3 times a day. I would do it after I would go to treatment and then again at night. So green tea is definitely recommended, great for the skin. So again, I encourage you to talk specifically to your oncologist about anything that you want to do to your skin during that time, because again, they may have very specific guidelines on what they want you to do and things you should not do. But once I was completely done with my radiation and I was no longer going to treatment, something that I did or am doing all the time because I ended radiation maybe just a few weeks ago, is using vitamin E oil. This was definitely a recommendation by one of the doctors as well. Vitamin E oil is great for your skin and can help repair. So during radiation, you should expect to have some darkening of the skin. My skin did darken. It really didn't have a lot of darkening until like that very last week, but it did have some darkening on there. I experienced some peeling but using vitamin E oil is a great way to use a natural product on your skin that will help repair it, help revitalize it. The darkness should not last more than, after a few months. They said it should probably expect it to lighten probably about 6 months or so down the line. But I feel like it's lightening right now. And part of that reason, I believe, is because I have this vitamin E oil. So make sure to have plenty of this on deck to use once you finish with your radiation. And finally, one of the things that you may not be aware of is once you complete your radiation, you will most likely be told that you need to avoid the sun as much as possible for up to a year after treatment. So it's going to be very, very important to make sure that you have a really good quality sunscreen on your skin whenever you're out. I personally enjoy this specifically. This is the Black Girl Sunscreen. This is great for black skin because it doesn't have the white cast that we can see when we use other sunscreens. So this is my recommendation. This is the 30 SPF. They do have a stronger SPF. I think they go up to 50. I'm going to start looking into getting some of that. But just get yourself a quality sunscreen. Make it a part of your routine to use it every day, all over your face, your body. Make sure you have a fresh coat whenever you're going to go outside. Along those lines, make sure as much as possible wear lighter colored clothing, and you can keep your arms covered, stay in the shade as much as possible for the next year. So hopefully, with just this glimpse into my journey, what I went through on radiation, and these few tips, if you are about to embark on this, or someone that you love is about to embark on this, I hope that these tips help you guys get through this period. You'll make it through just fine. I am rooting for you. Thank you for watching.